Test. Check.
Tester!
Okay. Yay, and look, I even got the right camera this time.
Oh, good. It is Felony Friday!
Felony Friday, yes.
Yeah. I like that name. I like that name a lot.
I like Subpoena Sunday better.
Subpoena Sunday's okay. Witness Wednesday. That's the best one.
No.
It's too bad that we don't play on Wednesdays. Why didn't you... Oh, okay.
Remember we were gonna pick him and...
Right, yeah, we were gonna pick him, and then you decided to play a game that you won even though you didn't want to, because you're a dum-dum. That one. Why does he have conclusive evidence? It has to do with the tray, I think, right? Yeah, it's the tray, because we got the wrong tray. That's why, yeah. And remember we were complaining about how that was so stupid? Who's there?
No, the stream's fucking bugging out.
Oh.
I think there might be something wrong with
The internet?
website.
Oh.
Let me see if there's anything on Discord. No, I don't.
Just gonna go with it?
Yeah. I mean, it's working right now, but
Yeah.
it's been like locking up and stuff.
Hmm.
But maybe somebody will show up. And either way, it's being recorded so I can post it to YouTube or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it?
Of course you do, you dipshit.
Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence?
Not on purpose. You're just an idiot.
That's ridiculous. No. I'm not saying that.
He is definitely poisoned.
Everyone's attention has been focused on the stake with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Korekuta-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, cadet!
Please be careful.
I am being careful.
You just...
I'm a superior officer. It is very hairy.
Huh?
Ooh, hey. Hello!
Yeah.
Ooh, sourdough bread.
Stream is wigging out again. I don't know if the stream is breaking for you or if you can even hear me right now. Is stream breaking for you? Yep.
Aww. That's so sad.
I mean, looks like it's working. Yeah, it's okay now, but it keeps doing that. I think there's something wrong with Glimish.
Oh no.
Let me try something. 4,000, let's put it at 1, delete 5. Happily. Okay. Alright, I severely lowered the bit rate. So if it bugs up again, maybe refresh it and maybe it'll work better. Not really anything else I can do.
Our internet squirrels are hick squirrels, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the stake that you put the coin under, in fact, your own stake?
Duh. Attention! Affirmative, of course. I can't be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it.
In other words, the stake that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table!
Objection!
No.
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly! Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over?
Well, not the sergeant, but yeah.
You did switch the plates!
I think they moved the dead body.
Well, see, you say that, but that was totally a plot point in more than one of these cases. But I'm thinking of a very particular one where the entire body got moved very dramatically. And, yeah. Yeah, that was the thing.
Well, after it happened,
The, When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hid the coin underneath it. Then, when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my son of meat, that'd be it. I began my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
If he wanted it to not be investigated, he should not have put it at the murder victim's table. That's the opposite. Nobody would have noticed if it was just his table. Like, what? Ugh. He's such a dum-dum. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
unbelievable!
However, fear not, prosecutor's son.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. That is all I did, sir.
All you did, that's play, Sergeant!
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
Yes, that follows.
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Huh. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
Shut up! I love her voice.
Man, I love this pursuit music. This is good.
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
Yeah, if it didn't, you wouldn't be objecting to it so hard, dipshit. No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon?
Your accent's getting more and more cockney.
I don't know the difference.
I appreciate it. Less posh. Surely you're not that. You sound poorer. Surely you're not that forgetful.
I am that forgetful. Don't call me Shirley.
Surely you remember the reason why this steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no?
Wait. You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest.
I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Because you just happened to bring it with you to court.
He brought everything with him to court. Of course he did.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how he didn't notice there was blood on it before.
Sorry
though.
for keeping you.
I don't know how you missed that.
Including his tuberculosis.
Yeah.
He brought everything to clear, including his tuberculosis.
Yeah.
Here is the other steak in its plate. Please, feel free to examine it.
I think they still call it consumption at this point in time.
The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table, with his back to me.
In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
Oh! Long!
It can't be!
And that's you.
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Mr. Zale Brett. It's you!
Oh, I can't wait. This is gonna be good. Oh. That goose is dying.
Done. By a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No.
Oh my god, there's a little baby!
I'm not reading all that, by the way.
There's a black chick. A black swan! Oh, that's cute.
What the fuck?
That's so great. That's lovely. Looky. He has the black swan.
I'm trying to get... shit, I can't get screenshots because I didn't pay for that program. You didn't give me the money to pay for that program. Now I can't get screenshots. I don't have that keyboard. It's like over and behind me. I have the keyboard for my streaming PC. I had it programmed for the back of my controller, but I was using a program that costs like $7 if you want to buy the full thing.
It's a pretty good breakdown too. I mean, they get more and more elaborate as the tech gets better, so that they can put more stuff out there. But that was a pretty good one. That was a pretty good one.
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. I guess I could.
Yeah. Yeah. That's recorded. We can get it later.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
But they're not.
That was
They won't be
hilarious.
as clean.
What's your favorite breakdown?
Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time.
I like Dahlia's, the third one. The end of the third case, Dahlia. When Mia, like, just humiliates her so badly that she exercises her.
Gladly, Your Excellency.
That's just great.
It was I who took the professor's life, using Curare.
Why?
As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you plan to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water? Because Curare is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would be all over. It would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visit at the professor's table. Whoops, I didn't mean that. I want to try
You
something.
are getting more and more cockney as you go.
I'm sorry.
It's hilarious.
I don't even know if that's gonna... Yeah, it's like... It's like, no.
What are you doing?
Trying to... Because I have to keep, like, looking over the bar
Oh.
to see, but...
Oh, I see.
This puts it right in front of my head in the camera, and it's like...
Alright.
Can't win.
No.
That's pretty far away. I don't know, we'll try that, I guess. Fuck. That would be me, I suppose. Huh?
Talk like Maggie Smith.
Who is that?
The lady who played Minerva McGonagall in the Harry Potter films. She's also really old.
I have
I'll show you a
no
picture.
clue. Showing me a picture is not going to help me know how to talk like her.
No, but I want to show you the picture of her anyway.
Yes, you. Who else? She's also the downtown Abbey grandma.
Yeah, that's true.
Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall.
She is literally Dahlia. That's exactly what happened with Dahlia and Phoenix.
There was no going back at that point. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. So with a hat like that, it's entirely believable girlfriend was old.
And a plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
What? Oh yeah.
How old is she?
I happen to know that the
86.
professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of cure air in my handbag. And my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt?
Oh, we're gonna make Pain act up. Curare? The curare that we call curare.
Rare.
Curare.
Curare.
Curare?
And
That sounds weird.
I like the way you said that.
That's the way you said it. So I was right.
I like the way
There
I
was-
said that.
There were two guns.
Yes,
You changed her voice big
I
time.
know.
Then I finished my coffee and got up to leave.
Here's cucumber in my mouth.
It's curare? Curare?
Curare.
What the fuck? That's even worse.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I wouldn't notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I had intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, bang! That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally. The gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Pretty quick thinking on her part.
Obviously. I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around.
Because of course, we needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson where he picked up the gun.
So there you have it.
Oh, it's an actual thing. The poison is a real, thing. I didn't know that.
That is the entirety of my misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor?
Premeditated murder.
Yep.
Your Excellency,
Yes?
I wonder... Might I speak with you in private later?
Oh no.
I shall call on you.
What?
Thank you. Good day then, everyone.
What?
I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
No. So she's coming back to be the big bad. I'm gonna guess this game, maybe the second game.
Gross.
It would seem
Oh,
this
whoa.
trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
Right.
This can't be.
Oh, God forgot his name.
Taketsuchi.
Taketsuchi does not lose!
Ha! Ha!
That's the likes of this rookie student!
Dude, you are starting out the long history of all of your descendants losing to his descendants. That's really cool. I didn't think it was real. The games have a habit of making up really similarly named everything. Incuritis. That's really cool. You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ah! Ryunosuke Naruto!
What? Yes?
The insult to Naoshi family name will never be forgotten!
Nope. You've become conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Oh!
What the fuck?
I love it. I love the history of Pains getting their hair just... 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Aiuchi clan will never measure up to the Naruto clan. I mean... Yep.
This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its door to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance
I love
here.
how they have quotes around it.
I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what will it look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi,
Yes?
after this trial you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you.
I just noticed that his things are the Ace Attorney badge from the future games.
Oh yeah, they are. That's cool. The defense attorney badges, specifically, not the prosecutors. I understand, Your Excellency.
Oh, what was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden?
He's not going. Yeah. Never mind.
As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo,
Oh, yes.
in you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential.
Yep.
I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And he's really into that. Cure rare.
It is time to deliver the final verdict.
That's so creepy.
I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Not guilty.
Yay, do we get confetti?
No. Oh, okay. We get petals.
Yep. In the
Rose petals.
No, cherry blossom.
Yeah,
petals.
cherry blossom. Well, I mean, they said.
Oh.
Just reading. Jeez.
The court is now adjourned.
Sorry, I didn't know you were reading. I thought you were.
22nd November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 5. They were pretty round. I think it was just her screen. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial.
Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma.
No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget, what is sukiyaki?
I don't know.
Good
I looked
afternoon.
it up the
That's
first
probably
time.
that old guy.
Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off.
Oh no.
My bad. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off.
Oh, it's a hot pot.
Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Badly is how they would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be from my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
You did the work.
Your father? Yes, of course.
Yeah. Me and Bexlo cooked at the table.
Oh, okay. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Speaking of Mikotoba...
There you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Shabu shabu?
That sounds good too. I just want to eat all the food now.
Well, it'd be nice if you could read your line.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that was my line. Shut up. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain.
They have this really cool feature in this game where, like, you can tell whose line it is by looking at the name. Don't punch me. I'm so sorry.
Wait till the cameras are off.
I'm gonna get punched.
Yep. No, it'll be much worse. I would punch you on camera. Presumably, that's... What did you do? Oh, alright, that's acceptable. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson?
Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
I don't have one of the kitties. They're not here. Where's my kitty?
Cats are scared of Leon.
No, only dog is. Simon likes me.
Oh, you work together?
I've never heard you mention that before.
Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture. And of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
how
that-
the turns have tables.
Also, I'm pretty sure this is at a time period when their sewer system was screwing up, so they just dumped all of that trash into the frickin' into the Thames, and yeah, I mean, you know, Britain's good at being an empire and stuff, but I'm pretty sure that means stealing everybody else's being good at stuff. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan.
You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you?
Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Isn't there supposed to be another one that goes with it?
Huh?
Isn't there supposed to be another, like a shorter sword that goes with it?
Well, it depends on if they want one.
Oh, okay.
The Tonto, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Fine. You leave him alone.
And pet him.
Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes.
Simon, don't go all the way over there. Come
There
back.
she goes.
Yeah, that's dog being afraid of me. Come here.
Stop.
Oh,
It's your
okay.
line.
That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett. I mean, after all, she's guilty of murder.
Yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean?
She's...
Surely she's gone to face
Nope.
trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all.
Nope.
She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai.
Oh.
What? Shanghai?
Hmm.
Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that.
What? But why not? Who would
I
that
don't know
be?
who that is. It's a matter of
Consular.
consular jurisdiction.
Consular.
What is that? Oh.
It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosanaga! It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Mystery guest. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then, who's gonna
Nobody.
bring her to justice?
A British consular court will hear her case. Somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard.
But why a consular court? Leave him alone.
My baby! Professor,
Nobody is impressed.
I simply don't understand. I love him. See, look, he says hi. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past, now that we've signed the Friendship Treaty.
Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right.
Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can invoke a consular court just like that. And
Can't they?
that means, yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Yeah, so she's not a student. She's a spy. She's a spy. She's a spy and an assassin. Something strange is going on.
So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan.
Yeah, so she's definitely gonna be the big bad.
I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her.
I don't believe it. Hi, doggy. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. Maybe you should be reading Mikotoba.
Why?
Because I'm reading like 4
Okay.
people.
I don't know. I'm just gonna make him sound like, what's his face?
Oh, you're a boozing.
You're the one who petted him and made him meow.
But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change.
Okay.
This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves.
Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. It looks like they missed a spot on his mouth.
Where?
Mikotoba on the right side, his left, under his mustache. It's just a white spot.
Oh, I see.
But
what-
Professor,
Or did they forget about it? To color it?
I guess. I don't know. It's just like this white spot.
You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun.
In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink.
Yeah, sure. Let's go to the murder restaurant.
You're a detective, Osanaga-san, aren't you? Yeah, where this guy is just
Yeah, right?
coughing
Yeah?
blood.
Yeah. Let's go to the murder restaurant where the guy has consumption.
Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor?
Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none.
Yep.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruto-san's release. Oh yes, thank you.
Is tuberculosis contagious? Oh, okay. That's what I thought. But I mean, there were people who had, like, I mean, back when it was called consumption, had consumption and, you know, it eventually killed them, but also they, you know, walked around and did normal things with normal people and stuff.
So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I
What is-
suppose that means I'll never know.
Doc
I'll never
Holliday.
find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma,
Yes, Ryunosuke?
I just want to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today.
I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work.
Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world.
I'm not so sure about that.
Huh?
To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. You have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean.
Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you.
That's the point.
Sorry? Well, what do you mean, that's the point?
Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win?
A katana? Knowledge of the law?
The answer should be no. The ability to believe.
To believe? To believe what?
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me.
Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it.
I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have... Excuse me. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. Takes a special kind of person.
Believing in your client.
Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing me.
Well, like...
You face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me.
Thanks, Kazuma.
There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke.
I do. Oh, well...
Yeah. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me.
It sounds serious. What is...
You're still here, are you?
Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go.
Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. You should be celebrating right now your first court victory.
And your study to tour Great Britain, don't forget.
He's not going. Yes, that too. I think the... Sorry, go ahead.
So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikotova, Susato-san, who acted as my assistant, Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Fiend.
We're playing the second one, right?
Of course.
Okay, good.
Achievement unlocked. Defense debut.
Yeah. I think the always leaving your client message must read a little bit different in Japan.
So we get 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Adventure of the Unbreakable.
I really,
But
really...
is this 5 episodes of just the first game?
Yes, and then we get the second game. Yes.
Okay, the Adventure of the Unspeakable Speckled Band.
I, for the record, I am very disappointed that they're not all named the Turnabout whatever. Turnabout whatever.
Crap on your glass.
What? Cucamelon seed.
Episode 2, The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band.
Band like band or band like band?
Probably like a musician band.
That's what I was thinking. How would a band be speckled, though?
Do you think this has anything to do with the
In a
Titanic?
corner
They
of
wouldn't
that
do that.
small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath.
That's so cool.
In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The Speckled Band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which she refers. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
At least it
Yeah,
was.
Danger Noodle.
At least it wasn't a subtractor.
Shut up.
Why'd you say shut up?
Because your puns are stupid. The two fun things for the
You might want to be quiet.
Yeah.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality. This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
Okay, I'm counting.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from
Too late.
inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Uh-oh.
Who are you, and where have you come from?
It's been more than 5 seconds.
I'm a
I
great
know, that's
British
what I said.
consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Oh my god, nope. Nope. So great.
Ugh, my head is throbbing.
Oh no, are we gonna get accused of murder again?
What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air.
Yeah, we're gonna get accused of murder
We're
again.
on the boat.
Yep.
Wait, I can't move.
Yep.
Ah! What the? Oh, he was the one in the door?
Apparently.
The most luckless doofus in history. Yeah.
Well, you say that, but Phoenix right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why am I in handcuffs?
dude should have died like 500 times already. Oh, I think that's Shlums.
Schlums.
Oh, I can't do the British accent. I feel so bad.
I can do it.
No, I want to. Well, I mean, I don't know. Well, if you do Shlums, then I have to do Ryunosuke.
What? Oh.
Yeah, and then I'll be Shlom's little assistant, and you be my little assistant. Ryu's little assistant. Sasuta Mikotoba. So we each have one.
So, you wake up now, hmm?
Nope, it's the Russian guy.
We have to drag you out of the wardrobe.
That's not.
I do not believe how you could not wake up.
I don't.
You are too cold-blooded, man.
That's not Russian. Oh, you. You found me then?
We found you, and now you pay, criminal.
Why did they spell criminal with a K?
How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe? Hmm?
Ugh, sorry.
Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, hmm?
No, I'll tell you everything.
There's only one thing I'd like to know from you.
Isn't that...
Oh. Damn it. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life?
Mr. Sato. Wait. What did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma?
Did we kill Kazuma?
Well, I mean, he's our Mia, so he's gotta be dead. Shit, man.
But I'm using that, no! You are a wolf in the sheep, help!
Holy crap, he is! Holy shit!
You are the killer! Do not try to make excuses!
What?
Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago.
Holy shit, man!
Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside.
Oh my god, what? His body?
Please! Do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep.
I know, right? Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think that I
have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-san's life? Kazuma-sama's. Answer me, please.
No.
Why did you do it?
No! Very long. Oh.
Why did you do that?
I don't know. Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? When we get in trouble. Ha 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 ha! Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case on the floor? I thought I was gonna die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look.
No wonder he killed him.
Hey! Honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourselves to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. Ugh, I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew that what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about the time the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. I won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I tell you what, why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together.
We leave you at the next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer!
No, I'm not a murderer.
You said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes.
No, that's not right. What?
Bent.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best friend.
No one else could have done it. Admit the truth.
Why the fuck did Kazum? Why did he write in Russian? I mean,
We don't know for certain that Kazuma did it.
I mean, that's where the dead body was, and he's the only dead body we know about.
Okay.
So, therefore, he, as the dead body, wrote in Russian.
Or the killer did.
Well, yeah, but I mean, presumably we're supposed to think that Kazuma wrote something in Russian. Why would he write something in Russian? Does he even know Russian? How do you say her name? Susato.
Susato.
Susato-san? Please, tell me what happened. I need to know.
Very well. But there's something I would like to ask of you too.
Ugh, those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. So all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Zooms though, obviously. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. Oh man. These handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer?
When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside.
What do you mean?
There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls.
What?
Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation?
I don't know about that one. This is impossible.
I say the vent.
I mean, yeah. How did he die then? What happened exactly?
Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances?
Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me.
The cause of death is still undetermined.
I don't know how he died.
Ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. He died of danger, Noodle. That's a...
I mean, so presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then?
That's true, yes.
Yeah, and poison. Gotta be another poison. I mean, Danger Noodle would have left physical injury, a bite.
I don't know if the boat rocked, but no, because none of the... You see the books on the desk?
Yeah.
They're fine. All that stuff is moved.
Yeah, that was all.
It was all standing up straight in the flashback.
Poisoned the him. I mean, yes.
But did you hear me? In the flashback, all of that was straight.
Yeah. So that got messed up. Oh, sorry, I don't know what I said. I don't understand it. Can anyone tell me what actually happened here in this room? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma?
Presumably, that's something you know the answer to better than anyone.
Please. Yeah.
Whatever you say, you were here in this cabin after all.
Well, yes, I was, but...
And what do you think's with the bolt? on the door.
Oh, they had to break it.
Oh, they had to break in.
Yep. We have definitely done locked room mysteries before, though, so, I mean...
Yeah. He would always wake before dawn and go to his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't.
Does that mean... he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? No way it was an accident.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But there was no reply.
There was. Wait. There was an accident at some point, right?
Well, if he was poisoned, why would he have, like... I guess he
sure
could have had a
poisoned.
fit and, like, threw stuff, and maybe that's why things were knocked over, but...
No, I'm sure he was poisoned. It could be that somebody else, the locked room part was obviously staged. Somebody put Ryunosuke in the closet, knocked him out or whatever, put him in there, and then staged it. So, of course, you could stage a fight, too. If you're going to stage a locked room, you could stage a fight.
No.
What?
He put himself in the closet. That was what the whole flashback was about.
Well, no, I mean, I know he regularly hides in the closet, but I think he might have been put in there. Or when somebody was aware of his existence in the closet. Otherwise, why do the locked room? Somebody framed Ryu, is what I'm saying. And if you're gonna frame somebody else, you can totally make it look like there was a fight.
Not have... Well, yeah. But they...
There's a vent.
There's an air vent.
Yeah, we're betting on the vent right now.
But maybe they were just thinking they could get away with it and there would be nobody to pin the blame on. And so Ryu was a happy... But yeah, you're right. Yeah.
They're floating on a boat that only has... and he's the only person unaccounted for.
I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside...
Yeah, why would he write in Russian?
There was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor.
If you wear your sword on your left side, what are you, right or left-handed?
Right.
Okay. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose.
And you can't see it now, but I saw it in a different image. His sword on the floor, it was not drawn at all. So either he was already like pre-knocked out, or...
There's no porthole in this room. This room does not have a window.
So I don't think there was a fight.
Yeah, the vent has to be the exit because there is no room.
But if that
window,
if that vent's in, well, no, it's pretty big. I was gonna say it's kind of small, but it's not that small.
Well, there's at least one 11-year-old on the boat, so.
But it's not really that small.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's small-ish.
Well, yeah. But I'm comparing it to the wardrobe where Ryu was hiding, and Ryu could easily fit through that.
Yeah, if you could pull that vent off.
Yeah.
And I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. See, yeah, I think he was shoved in
So, like
there.
Indy said, a vaporous poisoning or something, or like sleeping gas, or maybe something came through the vent to put people to sleep.
That would make sense, but one, how did Ryu not get poisoned? Also, if it was gassed, and two, why all that? I mean, I suppose that could have been Kazuma realizing that he had been poisoned and then just going all crazy and trying desperately to write something out and stuff. And just getting, like, knocking into everything. But...
What if, and this is probably gonna sound stupid, but the guy set everything up, killed him, whatever, heard Susato knocking on the door, banging on the door, calling for him, then heard her run away, so all he had to do was stand behind the side of the door, they come back in.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be shocked and totally tunnel visioned on this dead body of.
Yeah.
They're not going to be looking around
like,
like, oh, who else is here?
Yeah.
And he could easily just sneak out.
I think that's a little bit.
I think it's a little too simple
Yeah.
for this game.
Well, yeah, a little too simple / a little too. I don't know. There's a word, but yeah, I don't think it's that. I doubt that there's spirit channeling involved this time. You know, maybe. Probably not. This is very Sherlock Holmes and.
I wish it wasn't the case, but it's just very hard to believe.
This is all very hard to believe for me too. Trust me.
Now I've told you everything that I know, so it's my turn to ask you a question.
Yes, all right. Ugh, my head feels so heavy. Still throbbing like anything. Yeah, he's gotta have been gassed or something.
What is that purple thing on the floor?
It's a piece of something.
I think that might be important.
Probably.
And that weird stain mark.
Yep. I'm sure they're important. Still away.
Why are you even on board the ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time.
I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing?
No! That would have been impossible, obviously.
Yes, of course.
Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together.
He actually asked you? But why?
I'm afraid... I don't really know the reason myself.
I don't understand. Do you think... Why would he want to frame Naruhodo-san? Do you think it could have been suicide?
No, absolutely not. I don't know why somebody would kill him, though.
Well, Giselle Brett, but she could have hired somebody to kill him.
Yeah, but I mean, she'd be more likely to kill Ryu, because Ryu was the one who... Plus, she got away with it. She got away with her murder.
Yeah, but could be the person who's like... I mean, she's British. She could be like, I want to make him suffer as much as possible. I'm gonna kill his friend.
Yeah.
It's not Aochi. Those guys are just idiots.
Yeah, they're just dumb shitheads who never get any better at anything ever.
Yeah, but you're certain it couldn't be a suicide?
Yeah, I'm positive. There's no freaking
Because, why all the mysteries and all this other stuff?
And there's no reason for him to commit suicide. Like, what on earth would he be doing? Like, the only way that would make sense is if he was already dying of something. And I don't imagine, one, why he wouldn't tell Ryu about that, and
why
two...
write in Russian? Why do all this other stuff?
Yeah. There's way too convoluted for it to be...
I don't understand.
Orchestrated. Like that. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you?
See, it's all...
Yeah. It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you had to become a lawyer yourself? Well, yes, you did say that, but I don't think you were serious.
What the heck is on his plate?
A bone. Like a leg bone?
But it looks like it has a chef's hat on.
It's the thingy thing.
No cause of death, so no pokies with a sword.
Yeah, no pokies with a sword. You have a talent for it, I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. Yeah, it does look like there's an elbow. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. On a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then
And plus, what happened to that huge chest?
it's probably somewhere else in the room. Then what? Nothing. Forget it. I think it is there, actually.
Kazuma-sama is... He was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you.
Yeah, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little.
Plus, why is his sword all the way over there if he died over there? I mean, it would have been on his hip. He didn't even draw it at all, so it had to get taken off. Like...
I mean, they might have knocked it over when they dragged his body out, too.
But it would be in a loop and caught by the hilt, so...
The look in his eyes, then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Yeah, he's got something. Susato-san? I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean...
If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me. To avoid me becoming guilty by association.
That's exactly right, yeah. Word perfect, in fact. Like, I mean, remember, when Miyadai was working on, you know, working on taking down Red, White, and blah, 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 blah. So I bet Kazuma was working on something important like that.
If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin?
Well, the thing is, I don't really remember.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Kazuma brought me something to eat just like he always did. And I got myself into that wardrobe over there. Just like I always did. Yeah, see, there's a chest. After that,
Plus that candle, the only thing on that table that's different is the candle fell over. Because it was straight up in the flashback. Fell asleep?
Well, yes.
So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed?
Well, yes. Yeah, they were gassed. They were definitely gassed. I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. Actually, you were elevated off the ground. You were probably... I mean, if you were not there, you would have died. Yeah, so Ryu must have been sleeping or down lower if they got gassed. Oh, sorry. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything.
Really?
Yeah, he's definitely gotta be gassed. Is something wrong?
Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it.
Susato-san, you have to believe me, I didn't do it.
I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this.
Ugh. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Because you're the main character. Ugh, I can't take this.
Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen.
I'm sorry. But Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen.
Well, what do you propose to do then?
I'm gonna investigate. I'm gonna find out exactly what happened here. I'm gonna work out who took Kazuma's life and how and why they did. So I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to excuse me. Hiya!
That was.
Oh wait, that was you? Sorry. What's it?
That was a Susato takedown.
Good job! Susato what? What other martial art form is that?
I'm going to need you to prove it.
Sorry, prove it?
Yes, your innocence. I need evidence.
But how am I supposed to?
Have you forgotten already? What you achieved just a few weeks ago. You successfully defended yourself in a court of law.
Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence? I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Yep. No, I mean, that's it. It was over the door.
Yes!
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors?
Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly.
I thought so. Excuse me. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in here, just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So, naturally, he did the same last night as well.
Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them.
But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own.
Yes, that's quite true.
In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma.
Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you.
Thank you, Susato-san. What? Say what? I think he was fighting your foot. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Sorry, that was actually a little more aggressive than it should have been.
Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least.
Thank you! So you finally believe me?
I'm sorry. No.
What?
They're not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position.
Where does she think I am, a magician? Well, some descendant of yours is gonna adopt one of them.
For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same.
Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san.
Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts.
Oh.
I shall be watching you, to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you to use your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example.
Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. We should probably stop here. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. And it's in red letters, so you know I'm serious about it. Oh, it's gonna be so cool. Yeah, even the titles are not turnabout whatever because they're all taken. They're all like callbacks to Sherlock Holmes books, which is also what the little narration in the beginning is too. That's all the Sherlock Holmes stories are narrated. I think all of them anyway are narrated by Watson. It's one of the cool examples of the viewpoint character not being the protagonist. I like it a lot. Or something else related to that. Oh, Shlomes. It's called Schloms because they're
No.
fine, whatever then. Never mind. God.
Tell your story.
I don't want to anymore.
Just tell it, monkey.
No. Don't call me monkey. Monkey you.
So we're done for until Sunday?
Yeah.
2 days. Day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Could skip cleaning tomorrow, please.
No.
Then shut up.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging out, Indy. Appreciate it. I will see you in probably half an hour for long stream. Got cat hair everywhere.
That's what happens when you have cats. Ow, what?
Anyways, I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.